And we're back again in the kitchen, and today we're taking our taste buds on a road trip all the way to Brazil and making something called brigadeiros. Now, these are Brazilian treats that are a big part of Brazilian culture and are considered an actual national icon. And it's made with condensed milk, with cocoa powder and butter. And the queen of all things sweet is here to show us how to make them. Gracie, great to have you in the studio.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You were telling me quite an interesting story about these brigadeiros and how they actually became a national icon in Brazil.
Yeah, well, as the story goes, in the 1940s, there was a guy who was running for president.
Yeah.
And his wife lovingly made these sweets every time he had a rally to talk to the people, to get himself elected. And she used to make them, and people used to come and ask for them and ask for those brigadeiros.
Yes.
Yeah.
And apparently because of the lack of things like fresh milk.
Because it was wartime.
Yeah, post-wartime,
Yes,
so scarcity
Yeah.
in a lot of resources and things, that these were quite a welcome treat among the people. And so they are celebrated. But let's get to making them and see how they're actually done.
They're very, very straightforward. You're going to need a can of condensed milk on a medium heat. That's quite important. You don't want to boil this too quickly.
Yes.
And you know the rule with condensed milk, you always have to leave enough to scrape
Yes.
afterwards.
Yes.
Okay.
Whoever it is that's your cooking assistant has to be able to
Is that
enjoy
enough for you?
That's perfect.
Okay.
Actually, thank you very much. I'll start it.
And then some butter. Butter goes in there too.
Oh, that's
Okay.
beautiful.
And then cocoa powder. So if you're afraid that your cocoa powder isn't going to mix nicely into your condensed milk, sometimes it gets a little bit lumpy, mix it with a little bit of water first.
Okay, cocoa powder. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, there's butter in there already.
There's butter already.
So what if you
in
added
here.
chocolate instead of cocoa powder? Would that
Oh,
work if you were
they
to
do
melt
make
that?
it with chocolate as well.
Okay, so you could use that as a substitute.
You could use chocolate, just melted chocolate first.
Yes.
And then you cook this until it's nice and thick. So this does take a while.
Yes.
They say that it's a sweet that you make with friends because you have to have a mate come over and help you stir.
Yes, excellent stuff. I like the music selection that we've got going on here. It's like a modernized version of Besame Mucho.
Ooh.
You know, Besame.
Puts us in the mood, hey?
All right, so you're going to let that cook along.
This cooks along. You have to be able to pick up a whole lot, turn it over your spoon, and it takes a while to drop off your spoon. So as you can imagine, it does take a while just to cook this all the way down.
Excellent. All right.
Isn't that delicious?
So you're going to let that cook down, and
then,
there you would then have
And then you take it out the pot and you let it cool for about 3 hours. So pop it in the fridge, let it cool, and it's sort of like making truffles.
Okay.
Okay. Here's a tip. Take a little bit of butter before you're going to roll them and spread it over your hands, and then you just take little teaspoonfuls. You don't want too, these are very rich, so you don't want too big a piece. Okay. And then you're going to roll it into a ball. Are you dying to do this? I can see.
I kind of, oh no, sorry, I'll be honest with you. I was wondering more about the buttery smell that's going to be on your hand throughout the day and how delicious that's going to be. Like, you're going to be shaking people's hands and be like, oh, hi guys, eat your hand.
Look at this.
Delicious. That looks amazing.
And then you just roll it in this chocolate vermicelli.
Okay, while you do that, you at home can SMS the keyword Clover to 33728 and we'll send you a link to the recipe so you can make your own brigadeiros. By the way, those that were made back in those days in that 40s, 50s presidential election run, did they actually end up securing the presidential seat?
Unfortunately not.
No?
No, they weren't. They weren't that sort of dessert.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's only so much a wife can do for his husband. He's got to carry it the rest of the way.
So apparently the candidate wasn't a very good speaker then. The brigadeiros brought the people in, he just couldn't convince them. Close the deal, Pablo. Yeah. Close the deal. All right, so you're going to be rolling them up and you decorate them like that.
And then we just decorate them with some chocolate. I've got dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and then some white chocolate. And it's really like whatever you want to do to decorate them. They are so delicious. They need to be set up a little bit afterwards, again in the fridge.
In the fridge.
And then they're ready to be served.
Excellent, and you can have them with a nice ice cold glass of Clover Fresh.
Oh, you have to have it with milk.
Yes.
Definitely. And the Clover milk is the best milk. Stays extra fresh in your fridge because it's got a nice seal on it.
Fantastic stuff. Let's quickly show you how we made this, shall we? Take a look.
In the mood for a sweet treat? Then take your taste buds on a trip to Brazil and make these Clover Fresh Milk Brigadeiros. Melt 1 tablespoon of clover butter in a pan. Then add 100 grams of cocoa powder and fold together. Next, add 2 tins of Clover condensed milk. Mix to combine and simmer gently until thickened. Spoon onto a greased surface and allow to cool completely. Tear off small portions and roll them into balls in your palms. Coat a few in chocolate vermicelli and others in chopped nuts. Place in cupcake cups and drizzle over melted white chocolate and melted milk chocolate. Sweet, fudgy, chewy and delicious, these brigadeiros are best enjoyed with a glass of ice-cold Clover full cream fresh milk.
Made with love by Clover.
And that's the keyword that you SMS, Clover, to 33728, and we'll send you a link to the recipe so you can make your own beautiful brigadeiros at home. And there are other variations that you could make as well?
Just go to town. You can put dried fruit in them. You can put nuts in them.
Oh, yes.
You can roll them in nuts. It's basically whatever taste that you want to carry through, you can do so.
Excellent stuff. Gracie, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. SMS Clover to 33728 and make your own delicious brigadeiros at home.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover.
Brigadeiros! I think it's Brigadeiros.
I don't think it's Italian, guys.
It's
Brigadeiros!
It's Portuguese because it's a Brazil.
Portuguese.
Bring it.
That's right.
Wow, are they all the same? They look beautiful. Are they all the same kind of vibe?
All lovingly made.
Wow, I'm gonna have this. Thank you.
You gotta bite into it.
You gotta bite into it. Okay?
Just get
Yeah,
in
mine
there.
is like a top deck brigadeiro.
Yeah, mine's a white chocolate.
You like the top dick?
I love a top deck, me.
We know that.
It's got like a cookie dough vibe about it, man.
Right? It's beautiful stuff. Yeah. Try it out at home. It'll be a crowd pleaser just like this. Look at this.
man.
All of a sudden, just popularity.
Just get worried at home if the person who made it isn't having any, because then it might be poisoned. But I'm sure he wouldn't do that.
Would I?
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover.